Good day, viewers and subscribers. Welcome back to my channel. This is Girls Connection, the World Connection. Please remember to subscribe, like, and share. Also, click the notification bell to receive daily news updates locally and internationally. Stories coming up in today's news headlines are: undocumented man faced deportation for cooperating with the U.S. government against stutters. Then cry foul over his shooting in St. James. And St. Elizabeth man charged for fatally stabbing businessman. Undocumented man faced deportation for cooperating with the U.S. government against stutters. An undocumented immigrant who helped the government bring down one of Jamaica's most notorious drug kingpins is fighting deportation, which he says is tantamount to a death sentence. The man, identified in court papers only as Sean B., was a cooperating witness in the case against Christopher Dudus Cook beginning in 2009, which made him a marked man. He was known in the gang as Cowboy. "If I return to Jamaica, I am dead as soon as I get off the plane. I testified against one of the most powerful men in Jamaica," Sean B. said in a sworn statement. "Being a snitch in Jamaica is one of the worst things you can do, and I am branded as one for the rest of my life. I will be killed in Jamaica if I return." Sean, who once served as a general in Cook's Shower Posse gang, was not exaggerating. Since Sean's testimony, his sister's house was burned down, the house of his children's mother was bombed, 6 of his cousins have been murdered, and his father was forced to flee the country, New Jersey District Judge Kevin McNulty wrote in a ruling Monday. The life or death stakes are made clear during Sean's recent unwanted 3-day return to Jamaica courtesy of ICE. On May 30, immigration agents put him on a private plane bound for Kingston before the government received a restraining order signed by McNulty blocking the deportation. "What happened when he got removed was cinematic in terms of how insane it was," Sean's attorney, Gregory Copeland, said. His client tried to lay low with a family friend and a sister and others. But during a walk outside, people were waiting for him with a machete and a saw-off shotgun, Copeland said. Sean jumped over fences, hopped into a cab, and frantically called his illegal team back in the U.S. from a payphone. 3 days later, Sean was back in ICE custody thanks to Judge McNulty, who ordered that he be returned to America. Federal agents hid Sean in a hotel in Jamaica until he could be put on a plane, his other attorney, Craig Rails, said. Sean has been held in ICE jail ever since. "I find it quite likely that a person in that position in Jamaica, in hiding and under a threat of death, could not effectively legislate an immigration appeal," McNulty wrote. Not to put too fine a point on it, the death threats, if carried out, would moot and defeat the review process. Sean had numerous run-ins with U.S. authorities before becoming a cooperating witness, including 2 deportations for illegal entry. After trying to come in a 3rd time in 2009, he pleaded guilty to drug trafficking charges and began working with the government. Sean was a critical witness in the Coke investigation. He testified at great personal risk to himself and offered first-hand insight into Coke's organization and how it operated in Jamaica and the United States, said John Zack, a lawyer who was one of the federal prosecutors on the Coke case. A manhunt for Coke in 2010 resulted in an armed insurgency in Jamaica that left 70 dead, McNulty noted. The Kingston kingpin was sentenced to 23 years in prison in 2012. Sean, meanwhile, was allowed to work in the U.S. Why he ended up in ICE's radar in January 2019 is unclear. An agency spokeswoman declined to comment on the case but noted Sean's numerous criminal convictions. Sean has a bail hearing in immigration court next week. He can't go back to Kingston. He's a dead man, Rails said. Residents cry foul of fatal police shooting in St. James. Sections of the Rose Heights community in St. James were tense following the shooting of 2 men, one fatally by the police, and a subsequent protest by residents in the area from Thursday night into Friday morning. The residents claimed that the men were shot in cold blood, but the police reported that the men were shot when they confronted a police team that was conducting operations in the community. The deceased man have been identified as 21-year-old Vic Sterling, alias PP of Rose Heights. The other injured man, said to be in his 20s, remained hospitalized. Preliminary reports are that sometime after 8 a.m., a team of police officers were conducting a patrol in the area when they saw a group of men who began to act in a suspicious manner. One of the men reportedly pulled a firearm and pointed it in the direction of the police, who then took evasive action and opened the fire. When the shooting subsided, 2 of the men were found suffering from gunshot wounds. The other men fled the scene. The injured men were assisted to the hospital by the police, where Sterling was pronounced dead. Residents, some of whom it is alleged witnessed the incident, used debris including stones to block sections of the roadway in the community. A woman who seemed to be recording the incident claimed that the men were shot in cold blood more than 20 times and a car in the vicinity was also shot up. The Independent Commission of Investigations, INDICOM, is probing the incident. St. Elizabeth man charged for fatally stabbing businessman, one of 4 persons arrested for serious crimes. A St. Elizabeth man accused of stabbing a businessman to death is one of 2 persons who were arrested and charged with murder this week, arising from separate incidents in 3 parishes. The other men were also arrested and charged for illegal possession of firearm, the police corporate communication unit revealed. The police lauded members of the public for playing a significant role in the success of their investigation and urged more persons to come forward when the cases go to court. Witnesses strengthen cases by telling the judge or jury everything they know about an event, the police said in a statement. The police say Shanae Walker was formally charged on Thursday for the August 26 stabbing death of 26-year-old businessman Deshane Trenchfield, who is from Newell, also in St. Elizabeth. According to CCU, the other man facing a charge of murder is Romario Green, also called Boo, a pest controller who resides in Palma, Trelawney. Green is also facing a charge of wounding with intent. The police alleged that he and his accomplice went to the Trelawney home of Cordell Clark and shot him to death. Another man was reportedly injured in the incident. The 2 men charged with illegal possession of firearm are Sean Allen, 27, of Darling Street, Westmoreland, and Rohan Smiley, also called Boomhead, 35, of Three Chains District in Manchester. It is alleged that a gun was found inside Allen's home during a police operation, while Smiley is accused of pulling an illegal firearm and threatening a man with whom he had a dispute. This is Girls Connection, the World Connection. Please remember to subscribe, like, and share. Also, leave a comment in the comment section down below. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Bishop Strawn from Lifegate Christian Ministries in Abaco. Not the type person to ever come out and talk very much about what's happening or make any political statement, as many of you would be aware of. But I had to come on today because I am very upset and very angry of the misinformation that has been sent out to the Bahamian people of persons who had no idea of the hell that we went through in Abaco. I lost my home, but came out with only the clothes on my back, as many Abaconians have. And the truth of the matter is that there is no gas stations in Mashaba, there is no port, there is no power, and the power grid, and I've worked to BPL for over 25 years. The power grid and the distribution system in Mashaba has totally been destroyed. And so the hopes of restoring power anytime soon there is impossible. There is no food stores, there is no hardware stores, there are no banks. The only thing that we did to survive over the last several days was scavenge through food stores, trying to pick up tuna fish cans or corned beef cans or water and whatnot. And there is no help. I am very frustrated and upset at the government because we received no help. Thank God for the Americans that came in through Treasure Key, bringing plane loads of stuff after stuff. Now I've been made to understand that our government has stopped the planes from coming in, and only God knows how those persons are going to get any kind of help or supplies. You could not even get on Bahamas Air. We paid $75. My son, my wife, and my youngest boy, my son, my wife, and myself, $75 per person, or Bahamas Air was not allowing you to get on the plane. Thank God for Western Air that came to deliver some stuff, and they decided that they were going to carry as much people as they can, and they did it for free. They did it for free. And our government had Bahamas Air charge us $75 to get over here in the Bahamas. My God, something is definitely wrong with that. Most of the churches are destroyed. Treasure Key is destroyed, and there are people who are in Abaco that may not have been affected as badly as we have been in Central Abaco, and the people in South Abaco has not been affected as badly as we've been. That they don't have any idea how terrible it is. The stench of dead body is unbelievable. There will be an outbreak of epidemic at some point. There is all kind of problems with keeping law and order in there. There are hardly any church left. Thank God our church was one of the few that is still standing. But it is unbelievable to me that lies would be said. And I am not political. I don't play the political game, but as far as I'm concerned, I'm a Bahamian, and if it's one thing that we should be all about is looking after Bahamians. And I'm frustrated and extremely angry about what is going on. If anybody have family members in Abaco, I'm telling you now, get them out by whatever means necessary. I'm glad that most of our persons are out of Abaco from our church, and I'm hoping that the rest can come out shortly. We have to regroup, and we have to get back in there to carry as much things that we can, water, food, supplies, whatever else we need. The bridge to Abaco connecting Little Abaco to mainland has been destroyed. Even they've been having some difficulties getting from Cooperstown into Treasure Key area. My wife and I had to stay in a car for several hours while we watched our house tumble down in the front of us, and we had to dash to another house and spend 7 to 8 hours to 220 plus miles per hour with our winds, just holding and praying on for dear life. And we spent the night in the car. Thank God for one of our neighbors who came over and took us in and gave us a dry place. The only thing we left Abaco with was the clothes on our bodies and our passports. And thank God we had our passports, because if we didn't have the passports and if we didn't have the $75 per person to pay to get off the island, we would have still been on the island today. I don't understand that for the life of me. I don't know who's listening, but I hope the whole of the Bahamas is, and I pray that those who are listening to me will share the video as much as they can. Sandy Point, South Abaco, if you can hear me, there's nothing in Marsh Harbor. Nothing there to support you. North Abaco, if you could hear me, there's nothing there to support you. I just got a hot meal for the first time in 5 days when I landed here last night after being in Treasure Key from 9 o'clock in the morning, standing on the line with a whole lot of people, hundreds and hundreds of people, all trying to get on the plane, only to find out from Bahamas Air that we had to pay to get out. Thank God for Western Air. Thank God for Western Air. I don't know who owns Western Air, but sir, may the blessings of the Lord be on you and your company for reaching out. You didn't have to load the planes up with people to get them out, but you were there, and we give God praise and glory for you, sir. I pray, and again, let me end by saying, I am not political. I never subscribe to political parties. Anybody that knows me well enough that they've never seen a PLP or F&M flag on my car, on my clothes. I've never attended any of the rallies. I do my best to stay neutral because as far as I'm concerned, I must reach all men and all women at all times. It's all about souls. But I am very upset about what took place. And I hope and pray that the government will change its course and do whatever they can to get our people, our Abaconians, off the island as soon as possible. God bless you. And I pray if you have any means of getting stuff to Abaco, please, water, food, whatever you can, do whatever you can. But most of all, please try and help our Abaconians to get off as quickly as possible. God bless you, and we're praying for you.